Hello, welcome to Ekmalay Studios. I am Azadin. In this course, I'm going to create low poly village house night scene and show you how you can create this scene in Blender. I hope you have seen the intro video so you know the result of this course, what you're gonna be creating. If you haven't seen the video, you should check that video so you know the result of this course. This course is for beginner. I'm going to explain all the tools you need to create this scene, but I will not go in detail about Blender interface. So when you open Blender, this is what you see. It tells you what version of Blender you are using. But I believe if you're using different version of Blender than mine, you should have no problem to follow this course. When you open Blender, this is what you see first. So the cube, light, and a camera. So I'm gonna quickly go through a little bit about the interface, just because if there are someone which is really a beginner, they never used Blender, so they can start with as well. And the other tool will be explained throughout this course, so you have no problem to follow this course and benefit from. So on the left side we have the tools which you can select your object and move your object. This one for rotating your object and the other one for scaling your object. The shortcut quickly for this one, let me turn on the shortcut so you can see what shortcut I'm using. So down here on the right corner you will see the shortcut I'm using, because throughout this course I'm gonna use shortcut. It's really speed up your workflow, and it's really helpful to know the shortcut with Blender and other software as well, because it's really speeding up your workflow. Similar to this one, if you use the shortcut, if you want to move your object, you just press G, so you move your object. If you want to move this object just in one direction, for example X, Y or Z, you just press, for example, Y, it's gonna look to Y. If you press X, it's just gonna move to the X, or Z, just to the Z. And if you right click, it's gonna go back to where it was, the object originally. If you want to scale your object, you press S, which is scaling your object. Same thing if you want to scale just in one direction, you just press for example Y, it's gonna scale just to the Y, X just to the X, and Z just like this. And then if you right click, it's gonna reset your object. For rotation, you just press R and it's gonna rotate your object. So same thing if you want to just rotate in one direction, for example just Y, so you're gonna be rotating Y, X and Z. The other thing quickly I'm gonna show you, we're gonna use at the beginning, which is the object mode and edit mode. So you select this one and then you go edit mode, so you'll be able to edit your object and create different things from this object. So now we are in the vertex mode, which top left corner. You can select different mode you are in. So now we can select the vertices and similar press G to move them around. The second one, which is for selecting edge, and the third one selecting faces, like this. Similar shortcut, if you want to use the shortcut for this one. So number one is vertices on your keyboard, number two is the edge, and number three is for faces. If you want to get out of this mode, you can do it like this, or just use the shortcut by pressing top on your keyboard. So top, you are in edit mode, and press top again, you are in object mode. On the right side, this part is as well is important to start with from beginning. I'll explain a little bit, which is collection. This is for you to organize your object in the scene, because when you have a lot of things in the scene, it gets really messy. So this this side, just look at the collection as a folders for organizing your object in the scene. So you can name them and put them in different folders. I think this is okay for beginning. So I'm gonna start building our house. So first I'm gonna delete all these objects in the scene, and then we're gonna start from new. So this is the 3D cursor, which is whenever you add any object, it's gonna be placed on this 3D cursor. So how you can move this cursor around, just by selecting this one like this, or you just hold down shift and right click, is gonna move the place where you want. So I want to move this one to the middle, so we're gonna start from this, right click and cursor to origin, so you're gonna move it to the center. If you want to add an object, you go to this menu, mesh, and there are different other way to use the shortcut. You just hold down shift A, and don't forget to look at this corner if you want to know the shortcut I'm using. So shift A, and then I'm gonna add a cube here. And if you look at the cube, it's not on the ground, so I'm just gonna move it up to the ground level, and we're gonna start from there. I want to be in different view to be able to see a bit, like, you know, when we are on the level. So this is where you change your view. If you look at it now, we are on the right view. If you press this one back, and then this one Z, which is you look at it from the top, or if you hold down your middle mouse and just move it around, you go back to perspective mode again. So I'm gonna go to the this view, so we're gonna move it to the ground level. So press G and Z and move it up, just like this. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's good start. And each of these grid is about 1 meter, so we need to make our house a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna press S and Y, and we're gonna scale it like this. These are about 6 meter, and then again S, this time X, and we're gonna scale it down like this. So this is 4. So now we have 6 by 4 meter. Only if you do a realistic scene is good, like, you know, to how to measure your things and be able to see the difference between, like, if you build, like, for example, the house and there's a human or any other object, so to be able to see how big, you know, they are from each other. So now I'm gonna go to edit mode by pressing top, and I'm gonna select the top face, and I'm gonna separate this one from the rest. So you can right click and go to here, separate selection, like this. Or if I'm gonna undo this, you can, on the shortcut, you just press P and then selection. So now if you go back to our object mode, if you select the roof, press G, now this one is separate. So select the house and then press tab to go to edit mode. So we need to create our door here. So I'm gonna press Ctrl R to create a loop here. So by middle mouse moving it up and down, you can add or remove how many cut you want to make. So I'm gonna do 2. Press left click and then right click, so to keep it as where they are. I'm gonna move them closer to each other, so press S, Y, and then move them like this. And we need another loop for our windows. So again, Control R, and I'm gonna make it 2 loop again. So left click, right click to keep it in the position, and then S, Z to move it a little bit wide, like this. I'm gonna move it up, so G, Z, just move it up a little bit like this. Okay, select this edge. We don't want this one because this is our door, so I'm gonna right click and dissolve the edge, so that edge has been removed. So now we're gonna create our window. So now select this edge and this one, right click and bridge edge loop, so with this menu you open it and then just create two cut like this. So this is gonna be our window. We're gonna do same thing on this side. Right click, then to cut again. So now that's gonna be our window. We need another window on this side as well. So select this edge and this one, right click, page the edge, and then two. So if you look at it, they are not even. This is a little bit bigger than this one. So I'm gonna just select these two edge like this. If you want to move your scene all like left or right or up down, you just hold down shift and middle mouse and you can grab your scene like this and move it up. So I'm gonna bring it to the middle to see better, and then I'm gonna press S X to just bring them a little bit closer to each other. We're gonna fix this one later when we creating our window, so we don't have to worry much now. So now I need to separate the do on the window from the rest. So I'm gonna go to face mode by pressing 3 on the keyboard, so I can select this one and then right click, separate like this, or you can just select this one, press P, separate, and select this window, P, separate, and the do, P, separate. So now each of them are separate object. So if we press tab, get out of edit mode, so we select each of these, they are separate object now, like this. Okay, and now if you select this one, and you can see our origin is far away from the window and the door as well, because this was the part from the whole cube as well. So we need to move this one closer to the middle, because if we rotate now, or we need to do anything with this one with scaling, we will have a problem in later on. So if I press R and rotate, you see it's rotating, I mean around that point, you can see. So we just need to like right click and then origin to geometry like this, or you can select all of them together like this and then right click, set origin to geometry. So each one's gonna be in the middle now. And another thing we need to look at it as well, because when we add a modifier to any object on the scale is not uniform, we will have a problem as well. So this one, it should be like any of them, when you select it should be even, so 1. So how you can reset your scale, so just you hold down Control A and then scale, or other option as well there are there if you want to reset all the transform, but we don't want all of them. So I'm just gonna reset the scale like this. So you can select all of them together like this, press Control A on the keyboard and then scale. So now if you select any of them, the scale should be 1 like this. So later on when we add any modifier, we will have no problem. So now we need to extrude our window. To do that, I'm gonna select the house, go to edit mode by pressing tab on the keyboard. I'm going to edge mode by selecting number 2. So I'm gonna select all of these, and we need the door as well. Like this. So the top one as well. So we're gonna extrude this one in, and I'm going to select this one, so be able to see the thickness, to see through. This is X-ray. You can toggle this one by Alt Z, so you can see through. So now we need to extrude this one, but we don't want that face to be at the bottom. So you go to this extrude option and then select and hold down, it's gonna give you a different option. So I'm gonna select the second one, this one, and then if we just extrude like this, and this number, maybe we need this one for the side window, so all of them to go even. So I'm gonna copy this one by Control C. We need to extrude this window as well. So I'm gonna select this one, going inside, and then select all these edge. We select this one, sorry. So I'm gonna deselect this one, and then now going to X-ray like this, and I'm gonna extrude by same thickness. So the number we copy, we should have this one. So Control V to paste the number in and enter. So now we should have all of them even. So now we need to move our window a little bit back. I'm gonna select all of them like this, G, X, and move them in like this. This one as well. So G, Y. So we want to create our window shape. So I'm gonna keep this one here, but I'm gonna duplicate this one and make our window frame from this one. So you need to press Shift D to duplicate this one, and X to move it just on the X direction like this. I'm going to into edit mode like this, and if I go to on the face mode, select and press I and do like this. But when we create another edge in here, we will have a problem. So I'm just showing you a different way you can reach same thing. So if we do this and then we press Control R and bring two more edge like this, so they are not we will have a problem here where they are not straight. You can still fix them, but it take a little bit more time. So I'm gonna undo this, and I'm gonna do a different way. So I'm gonna do just loops, around here by press Control R, and I'm gonna get two cut like this, left, right click, and then S and Y, and move them like this, and then another two. So Control R, and then right, left, S, Z, and they are quad as well. This is gonna be a better way. So I'm gonna add another two here, and one like this. So let me do one down here, left, right, and then S, Y to bring them closer to each other like this, and we need two more like this. So Control R. So I'm gonna right click, left click, and I'm gonna move them a little bit far away from each other. So press S, Z, and just a little bit like this. And as they are still selected, press Control B to bevel them, just similar size to the rest like this. And now we have our window shape. So I'm gonna go to face mode and select all these in the middle. We don't need these because we already have our, and press Delete or X on your keyboard to delete them like this, because we already have our glass here. So this is gonna be separate as a wood frame. So I'm gonna get out of edit mode by pressing Tab, and then we're gonna add a modifier to give some thickness to this one. So I'm going to this menu here, and then select modifier and solidify like this, and then I'm gonna give them some thickness. I think that should be okay for now. You can still change whenever you need to edit just by changing this number. So now I'm gonna move the window back to the place. So I'm gonna press G X and move it back like this. And then I'm gonna bring the glass, selecting the glass we create, and then a G X to bring it forward like this. Because all our window are same size, maybe this one we need to change a little bit, so I'm gonna just duplicate this one to this side and then to this side as well. You can just delete this one and select both of them like this, and shift D and then Y to move just like this. So if you want to zoom into the selection, the selected object, you just press del or full stop on your number part. So just by pressing that one, it's gonna zoom into that object which has been selected. So we're gonna move the window to the right place by pressing G, Y like this. And then we're gonna duplicate another one for this side. Let me delete this, and then we're gonna duplicate, select both of them, and then shift D and then R for rotation, and Z and 90 like this. So we rotate 90 degree, and then G, Y to move it like this, and then G, X to move it like this, and then press full stop on your number pad to zoom into the object we selected, and then G, Y like this, and then G, X. If you remember, this window was a little bit different than the other one because it was different size, so we're gonna fix this part just quickly. So now it should be on the right place. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're gonna select our house and then press top on your keyboard, and we're gonna select go into vertex mode and then turn on the X-ray so you see what you are selecting like this. So we need to select only these 4 vertices like this, and then turn off the X-ray so you see it better, and then press G, X to move it like this. Now it should be fine. So we finished our window. So press tab to get out of there. So now we're gonna go and create our door. So I'm gonna duplicate this one again, so by pressing Shift D and X to move it out a little bit like this so we can see it better. And I'm gonna go to edit mode by pressing tab, and then we don't want these 2 vertices, so you can select both of them, right click, dissolve, and then they're gonna remove just these 2 vertices. And let me create 2 cut loop by press Ctrl R, and then we're gonna create 2, and then left right click and then S, Y to move it to the side like this. And I'm gonna cut another one for the top side, so Ctrl R and then right click, left click, and then G, Z to move it up like this. So this should be okay. And I'm gonna delete the middle face. We don't want this one by selecting and press X on your keyboard and face. So now we have our door frame. We just need to give it some thickness, so press tab to get out of the edit mode, and then select modifier and then solidify and give it some thickness like this. And then we're gonna press G, X to move it back to the right place. So this should be okay for our door. Model the middle, this one. Our door is made of the wood, because the house I'm building, you should look at the references when you build anything. So to give you an idea, this house is a village house which is in Kurdish region. So I can show some example. If you go to Google Images, so if you look at the houses, you can find different one. Okay, this is just as a reference. So nothing is perfect in life. So when we finish everything, we're gonna go through and give some random and little bit more character to our house by just move them and give them some roughness, you know, to the window, to the edge, and all the way around. So let's finish our door first. Let me go to edit mode. So we're gonna do this way quicker, and then go into vertex mode. I'm gonna select these three and G, Y to move like this, and then this side G, Y, move it like this, and then the top one G, Z, move them like this. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of edit mode and give this one some thickness as well. So we go to modifier and then add solidify, get out of X-ray just to see better the thickness we have. So something like this. We can change any time we want, and I'm gonna move a little bit forward. So press G, X to move it forward like this, and I'm gonna move the central to the center of the object. So by right click and then set origin, and this one origin to geometry, so we don't have any problem when we rotate or do anything to it. So now I'm gonna give it some roughness to the wood we are creating. So I'm gonna duplicate this one, Shift D and Y, so move it to the side like this. Shift D again and then Y, and then Shift D, Y, like this. So I'm gonna select all of them, just because they are just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make it smaller. So S, Y to make it a little bit smaller like this, and G, Y to move them in like this, and that should be fine. So I'm gonna go in individual and just give them some roughness and make it not perfect. So by pressing top, going in, and then I'm gonna delete these two vertices by right click and dissolve, and then I'm gonna add some edge to this part. So by pressing Ctrl R, I'm gonna add about 3, 4 is okay. Left right click and then just select them individually and G, Y, move them around. G, Y, G, Y, and this one G, X to move. So I'm just moving it around just to give it some roughness. So this is GX, move it out a little bit like this. So I think that's okay for that one. So select the next one, press top, and then we don't need these two, and then we're gonna press Ctrl R to add. I'm gonna add 3 to this one, and right left click and then try to move them around a little bit. So I may speed up this a little bit because I'm just repeating same thing, which is not difficult for you to do, and this is gonna be a little bit homework for you to do. I think that's okay. So I'm gonna duplicate one of them and make our door all as a one piece. I mean, put them together. So Shift and then R X 9 0. Sorry, it's gonna be X. Yep. So what I've done, just Shift D for copy, and then R for rotation, and then 90 degree, and then X. We just rotate to the X direction. So I'm gonna move this one to the place and make it smaller. So I'm going into edit mode by pressing top and then turn on X-ray. I'm gonna delete these vertices. We don't want this one, so I'm gonna press X and then vertices. So we left out with this one. So I'm gonna move these to the place G, Y, G, Y, like this. And I'm just gonna give it different shape, and should be fine. So select this one and move it forward. So G, X, like this. Now we need to be able to open our door. I'm gonna parents all these to this one. So this is gonna be our main for opening the door, but if we rotate now, it's going to be rotating around this point, which is we want to move this one a little bit down there. So I'm going to move this vertex a little bit closer to the door like this. How we can do this, we just need to move this 3D cursor to this place and then move this one to a 3D cursor. That way it's gonna be a quick way to do it. So I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna just hold down shift and right click. So our 3D cursor is there. So I'm gonna right click again, and from here I'm gonna say origin to a 3D cursor. So now that central point is just on our 3D cursor. So if I press R and C to rotate, so this way we can open our door. So all we have to do now, just select all of them, but it's important to select this one last, because the last one is going to be the parents, the rest going to be the child. So select one of them and select this one last, and then right click, parents, and then object. So now if we select this one and press R, Z, it should open our door like this. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it like this, but you can't change, like, you know, the rotation anytime you want. So if you go to this on the right menu, selecting this one, you can see your rotation here. So you just make this one 0, it's gonna be close, and then R, Z, you can't open this one. But we can see we have a different scale here. So I'm gonna press Control A to make the scale even here. So let me double check all of them, because if just in case if we want to add any modifier, stuff like that, so you have no problem. So I'm gonna select all of them, Control A, and then scale, and then they should be fine. So I'm gonna give some roughness to the door frame as well, and then we will do to the windows as well. So by pressing top, going to edit mode, so I'm just gonna create some cut around and just move it a little bit. So 3 here, right click, left, and then to this side as well, Control or then the middle mouse which you add or remove, just scroll up or down. So I'm gonna do 3, should be okay. Right click, left click, and I'm gonna do some on the top as well. So Control R, and I'm gonna do 2 here. So I'm just gonna move these points a little bit around, just to give it some little roughness, so they are just no so perfect. G, Y. I think that's enough, because even we done a little bit, but still that's give it some character to our do. So I'm gonna move this one on X as well. And I'm gonna move this one in a little bit, so press G, X, sorry, X, not too much, just a little bit, like this, and that should be okay. So I'm gonna do something similar to the window. I maybe speed up the video here because I'm just repeating same thing. So I select this one, press tab, going inside, and just move the point around, or make another cut if you want. Just I'm moving this a little bit to give it some roughness. G, Y. So now we done our windows on the door. I'm gonna give some roughness to this edge, and then maybe we're gonna do the roof in the next video. So I'm gonna select the house and then press tab to go edit mode, and then I'm gonna select these, going to the edge mode, and then select this edge around, because usually when you want to select a loop, like for example all the way around, you just press Alt and select the one edge. It's gonna select all the way around. So I'm gonna do Control P for bevel. I don't want to do too much, just a little bit. That should be okay. And then I'm gonna just maybe do some more cut and move it around a little bit. Let me do Control R. I don't want to cut all the way around. I'm just gonna create, yeah, let me Control R and create one cut here, and then gonna do one cut here as well on this side, but I don't want to go all the way around, so let me try. Should be fine. So I'm gonna do two cut, and then right, left, and I'm gonna press S, Z, so to move a little bit away from each other, and then we're gonna go to vertex mode by pressing 1. Just move these vertices around. G for grabbing, moving like this, and then some of them all together. G, these two, G, X, like this. That should be okay, because even it's little, but still give our house some character, and give it some rundown. So I'm gonna select these two, and then G, X, up a little bit, and then this one, G, Y, G, X, and this one's going in a little bit, so G, Y, these two, like this. That's fine. So let me do the other two sides as well. Get out of edit mode, and now this is what we left off. So this little bit of roughness is really give a character to our house. So I forget to do to the window as well. I think I'm gonna do a little bit to the window as well. Same thing. So this is just really easy to do. It's not that hard. So even you can stop the video and do something like this. So I'm gonna create another cut here, make it 2, right, left click. So I'm just gonna move this one a little bit, just like this. On this one it should be fine. I just don't want to be so perfect, that's all. So because even these little detail give your art or your scene make it different. So I think that's enough for our house. I believe if we give little bevel to the edge as well, gonna look better. But I think I'm gonna leave it like this. I don't want the videos get too long. And then in the next video we're gonna be building our roof and the wood which is supporting the roof as well, as I showed you on the example. There are like beams going around the house to support the roof. I will see you in the next video.